Hey everyone, welcome to Saturday Morning Toy Tunes. It's the newly christened live stream for those who wake up actually early enough to watch me do stupid things on the YouTube thing. Wow. Obviously everybody knows that I'm Terry Smith because you probably looked at the title of the YouTube channel if you aren't already somebody who's watched this show before. Yeah, so lots to talk about today because I got some really bad news this week I'm going to share with you all. And we want to talk about Andor and all the Star Wars stuff because Tales of the Jedi was very much something that I want to discuss, and I want to get everybody's thoughts on it because I don't know about you all, but, you know, spoiler alert, I loved it. As usual, I just want to do an audio check, make sure everybody thinks that the volume level on my microphone is okay, that you can hear the music and it's not overbearing. All that good stuff. So if anybody's paying attention and wants to give me a shout out, give me an audio check, that would be greatly appreciated. Yeah, so where to begin? I think we should start with okay, I think we should start with who's in the chat because that's actually what I'm paying attention to, so I might as well share it with you all. So hey, Hollywoods, or Brandy Woods. I'm combining Ollie West. Good morning to you as well. Let's see if I can get that actually to come up, but apparently it's not going to. So what happened? What did I do wrong? Stop me. Brandy Woods, hey Brandy Woods, is also here with us today. Hello. Tommy D apparently is going to be joining us later on. He has errands to run. I feel like that's code for I've got something spectacular to do over the Sideshow YouTube channel, which it didn't even occur to me that I was going to conflict with that. I'm sure it's not going to be much of a conflict. It's a pretty huge production that they do over there. I don't think I'm going to be drawing much of a crowd away from them. If I do, sorry bosses, don't fire me. John Galgano is here as well, another awesome Star Wars fan, so I'm very much glad that he's here to talk about Tales of the Jedi and what's going on with Andor. I heard a rumor that my buddy Scott Heinemeier is going to show up. That rumor might have come directly from Scott Heinemeier. Yeah, and I got a new mug. Oh. If you know, you know. Anyway, Fanatics is here. Hey, dude, it's good to see you. Good to see you. Good to hear from you. Good to read you. It's good to read you. That's going on a t-shirt. So much going on a t-shirt. Another thing that I came up with was when I was posting the link to the Facebook alert that I did is sending thoughts and what was it? I don't know. It's like a play on sending thoughts and prayers, only it was like sending thoughts and words. I don't know. I can't remember. Let me just bring that up because I'm actually going to be bothered by that now because it's actually something that I feel is a really cool t-shirt idea. For multiple reasons. I am going to start a shop on this channel. I see that a lot of people do that. I don't know if they make any money off of it, but I think that in order for me to really keep this thing going past like the one figure a month rule that I have, I'm going to have to try to do something to draw some funds and help fund this thing to make it have enough content to make it worth everybody's while to keep drawing people in. So let me just go ahead and look right here because again I want to just talk about one of the first teachers. Thoughts and questions. Send me your thoughts and questions. That's going to be one of the new vibes. It's right up there with, you know, clicks not kicks, kicks not clicks. That's it. Yeah. That's not about to change anytime soon, despite my decidedly un-Freudian slip there. Continuing on down the line, Lane Kramer is, of course, in the house all the way from the state of Texas. How's it going there, Lane? Brandy Wood says the audio is good. Everybody else seems to think the audio is good. Desmond Hassing is here. I'm always happy to hear from you, man. Your thoughts on things are always just very, it's like a, you know, just breath of fresh air. Yeah, seriously, it's just good to hear from you and good to hear your thoughts. Gina B. collecting from the far right north of Canada. Is it white there yet? I don't know. Probably not. When do you guys start getting snow in Canada? I think we can't expect it until at least another month here in St. Louis, but freakish weather conditions abound. Who the hell knows? TK421. If that's not a Star Wars fan's name, I don't know what is. It's always good to see you too as well, dude. Fantastic Star Wars fan. You always leaving the nicest comments, both on my channel and as well as on the Sideshow channel. Really appreciate you for that. Thank you. Linda's here as well. Have I seen you for a while? I feel like you've been busy and you haven't been able to pop in lately. You too have left some really awesome comments in the chats over at Sideshow, and appreciate that. I want to, yeah, it's good to know that it's good to have my bosses here that I have value. So, yeah. Oh, it looks like Scotty Heinemeyer is here. I must have missed a comment from you, Scott. There it is. Hey, Scott. Yeah, that's good to hear from you. That's, wow. Clearly I should have started drinking my coffee a little bit earlier than I did. Oh, where are the donuts? As if. Yeah, I went ahead and got it. They had red velvet cake this week. Last week I got there and they were sold out. Yay. I love red velvet cake. Red velvet cake donuts are okay. Let me see if this one's better than the last one. Just go ahead and... We need to get like some ASMR shit going on with this, right? Like, can you hear that thing tear? No? Remember me eating it? No? Oh, wow. Oh, hell yeah. That's really good. That's really good. That's like dangerously good. That's like when this video wraps up. I might have to wrap up this video early so that I can go get another one before they're all gone. Just kidding. They were down to like 3 when I was there. Funny part about donuts and Donut Girl, who actually, Donut Girl was the one that served me today. I went there the other day. I was just craving a donut. I was actually talking to Guy Klender on the phone when I was on my way there. And got there. It was like 11 o'clock in the morning, so this shouldn't surprise me, or it shouldn't surprise any of you, but I walked in the door and they were like, sorry, sir, we're sold out. Completely sold out of donuts. Yeah. I think what happened is there were some people that were in there, and I think those people came in and said, we'll take whatever you got. So I don't know if they donate at the end of their day. Like maybe they're only open till 11. I don't know. What am I going to do? Look at the sign? But I think that it's probably they have a group that shows up and accepts the remains for donations they give them to like homeless shelters maybe. I know that back when I worked for Trader Joe's, we would do that with all the stuff that was just about ready to code. We'd just give it to homeless shelters, and they made off like they made it like out like bandits every single day. Tommy K is here. Hello, Tommy. Yeah, that's cool. Let's see who else. Who am I missing? Yeah, Boston Collector's the one that said donate, update, or riot, of course. Apparently Keith Lee is here, and I skipped his comment. Oh no, I didn't. God, I'm such a brain fart in motion. Anyway, yeah. Well, look no further, my friend. Look no further. Exciting news. I wanted to share with some of you before I move on. I think that oh, nope. Another burst of commentary came in. Laura Quiles is here. I'm seeing that Laura is here. Hello, Laura. Always good to see you. I love your Facebook page, man. Your content is really great. Just watching the stuff that you do with your life, but also the geek-related things that you post. It's really like, yeah, okay. Geek-related posts keep me going, everyone. I feel like I'm not alone in there. Keith Lee is wanting to know how many donuts do I put down at a sitting. All of them. All of them. That's not true. I'll probably throw away a lot of what you see here. If there's an intact donut left at the end of the stream, I'll throw it in a Tupperware container and put it in the fridge for tomorrow or something. But you know, who knows? Who knows what I'm going to do? You're welcome, Laura. You're very welcome. But anyway, I was talking about exciting news. Next week on Saturday Morning Toy Tunes, we are going to have our first ever guest. That's right. And I'm trying to decide if I should keep it a secret or if I should let you know who it is, just to entice you all into coming. And I think I'm just going to let you know who it is. All the way from the Great White North of Canada, from Montreal, Brandy Woods herself, hey Brandy Woods, will be joining me live from Montreal, and we'll be talking about, well, whatever comes to mind. Yeah, I don't know. We haven't decided yet. She hasn't decided if she wants to be on for the entire show or just come in for like a little bit of a guest spot and let me continue rambling on my own later on down the line. But yeah, Brandy Woods will be joining us on the live stream next week. So that's exciting, right? That's exciting. I probably should have let her know in advance that I was going to tell everybody that. Sorry, Brandy. Hope you're not feeling like all awkward now. But yeah, that'll be fun. At least I think it will be. And like I said, that will be the first. I intend to like send invites for those of you who have the technology to be able to do a live stream, and that requires like a pretty high bit rate and frame rate, and I don't know what all the tech jargon is. I'm just totally faking it right now. Oh shit, that's not coffee. What the hell am I thinking? Anyway, All right. Well, there's a real long lag between comments, and I'm afraid that I may have screwed up and actually had set my latency for long. Which is cool because that means that the image quality looks better. So if I've got a zit, you all know. Or if I've got a bat in the cave or something like that. It's kind of good to be able to cut loose on my own live stream and not have to hold back. Atta girl, Brady Woods. Yes, that's right. Oh. Oh, that's an interesting idea. That's an interesting idea, Scott. Yeah. That could be fun. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I should have let you know. I should have let you know. So anyway, I mentioned earlier that I got some bad news this week, and I did. I'm gonna go ahead and talk about it. But and it strikes me now that it probably would have helped to have some visual aids for this. So I should have done like some screen captures and whatnot, so that I could just share all the gory details of it all. But I have received notice that there are people who are disliking my live streams. That's right. The 100% likability rate of Saturday Morning Toy Tunes has plummeted. And the reason for that is the She-Hulk rant 2 weeks ago. Yeah. That episode saw a dramatic, almost a doubling of views after the fact. I mean, obviously when it was streaming, it was the norm. But legitimately more than 200 views over the top contender of the second place in terms of how many views each one of my streams has gotten. 200 more views post, which I'm surprised when I get 200 views. But when I get 500 views on a stream, I'm just like, what's up with that? So I went in and I looked at the analytics, and my percentage of likes to dislikes is at 92%. 92%. That means that 8 people out of 100, out of every 100, disliked that video. And it's the first live stream that I've done that received any dislikes that I can remember. I ruffled some feathers. I'm so proud. Thank you everybody who like sent me those dislikes. I really appreciate your efforts. I really appreciate your passion, and I really appreciate the engagement. So definitely thanks for that. Holly West says it best. That's right. That's gonna be on a t-shirt. Yeah. So yeah, that's gonna be that's really, really cool. It occurred to me that I say yeah a lot, and I need to really focus on not saying yeah as much. It's like I'm reassuring myself that what I said is actually relevant or interesting or whatever. Mahmoud is in the house. Hello, sir. How are you? Yeah, welcome. Good to see you. Oh my God. That's really good coffee. It's still the same stuff as last week. I don't know how, because I've been drinking a lot of it this week. I've had a lot of work to do, but I didn't come here to talk about work. So, which brings up another thing, which I should have said at the beginning of the show. For first-time viewers, for people who are watching, I welcome any and all questions. I welcome any and all thoughts and questions. So yeah, send them my way. I'll be monitoring the chat, and if it's a really cool question or a really cool thought, then I'll pop it up here on the channel, and we can all talk about that. And yeah, but one thing I cannot do is I did not come here to talk about work. That's right. As part of my requirements for doing this live stream, I don't want to say requirements, but Sideshow gets nervous when I talk about Sideshow, so I didn't come here to talk about Sideshow. So I will not talk about Sideshow. So any questions involving the ins and outs of my job, I just have to politely ignore. So please don't be offended if I do so. It's not you, it's me. Which, as everybody knows, in a relationship, breakup, what have you situation, just means that it's you. No, I'm just kidding. That's not true. It's totally me. Oh wow! I see that we're getting a lot of thoughts on the She-Hulk thing. Yeah, Linda fully enjoyed it as well. You should. It's really, really good. I've been giving it more thought since it ended. Like I think I said last week that Thursday morning I was really sad to wake up to have the realization that I don't have a fresh episode of She-Hulk to look forward to. And as I may have God, I'm stuttering today. I may have mentioned last week, I've been reading finally Jason Aaron's run on Avengers. And of course, She-Hulk, actually just called Hulk at that point because Bruce Banner was dead, while also the Immortal Hulk. Another great comic book. If you guys haven't read that, whoo, Ewing just takes that book back to its horror story roots, and it's really, really creepy. So go out, check out Immortal Hulk if you haven't already. I really hope that they're going to do some sort of... I hope that they're going to bring that into the MCU at some point. I don't know how they would, apart from like making it like a Halloween special sort of a thing. That would be really, really cool. But anyway, while he was off being the Immortal Hulk and with nobody knowing that he was still alive, She-Hulk became just Hulk. And she wasn't just like super cool, perky She-Hulk. She was like angry She-Hulk and talking like a guttural caveman and everything. It was really entertaining. And, spoiler alert, she and Thor were getting it on. Yeah, much to everyone else's horror on the team. I remember there's this great thing when Tony found out, because they did like a mind meld. It was the Unimind from the Eternals taught them how to do the Unimind, and they did the Unimind thing. And Tony's like, whoa, Hulk and Thor did make out? I can't stop seeing that. And it's true, you just can't when you see it. Anyway, moving right along here. Thanks for that, Laura. Thank you for that. Likes and dislikes feed the algorithm, as Pierre says here. Hello, Pierre. How are things in Florida, man? Yeah, I hope you guys are getting some cooler weather. There's a lot to love about Florida. I don't know if I've told you this or not, but my family and I used to go there frequently. And the last time I was there, I think it was in 2017. I was in Orlando for Celebration. And yeah, it's muggy there, man. I was seeing a girl who lived in Jacksonville for a while, Jack's Beach. And those were great times. She was a nurse, and I just fly down there for days at a time and just hang out. Her apartment was 2 blocks off of Jack's Beach, and so I just like walked her dogs to the beach and just hang out on the beach. And when I got bored, I'd sit there in her house and binge watch Buffy episodes. It was awesome. Yeah, that's right. Binge watching Buffy and Angel. Those were good times. 20 years ago or so. Yeah, Brandywood says it best. I think it does go way deeper than hating the show. It's a gut reaction to something that offends them, and they just don't know how to process it. It flies completely in the face of their understanding of the dynamics of human pair bonding, for one thing, but just the place in the world of half of the population of the world. Yeah, I'm so glad to hear that my friends here on Saturday Morning Toy Tunes are on point with it. I get it, and that you get it. It's very, very cool. John Galgano says it very well. I mean, it was hysterical. It was really, really hysterical, and it's just like freaking Teletubbies. How is She-Hulk like Teletubbies, Terry? Well, I'll tell you. Teletubbies wasn't made for me. It wasn't made for me. It wasn't made to appeal to the life experience of a 51-year-old man. Terry's 51? Yeah, I'm 51. I thought he was 61. Fuck off. But yeah, it's not everything in the Marvel Universe has to be made for me, right? And if it's not made for me and I want to engage in it, then it's up to me to just divorce my stop internalizing things. Just divorce myself from the need for a visceral reaction to it, and just look upon it analytically and try to have some empathy with the audience for which it was created. If that makes any sense. I hope it makes sense. I think it makes sense. Based on what I'm seeing here in the comments, I think everybody else gets it. Oh, Laura, yeah, I did see Werewolf by Night, and I did finally get a rewatch of it last week as part of my Halloween scary story monster movie a night thing that I'm doing right now, which has kind of been interrupted because of work. But I'm hoping to get back on that tonight. Oh, more about tonight later. Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. And we talked about how I mentioned earlier that Michael Giacchino was the director of it, as well as being the composer of it. I mean, I love the guy that he's like this one-stop shop that can do all these great things. I heard a rumor that he actually frequently just makes films on his own. He just like makes little short films and does whatever. He's been making films for about as long, I guess, as he's been a composer. Fucking coffee, man, I love it. But yeah, Really, really good. We talked about that last week. I guess you missed out. I'm really surprised. Does anybody know if anything's going on with Spooktacular? Speaking of, I'm not going to talk about work right now because I really don't like the idea of stepping on anybody's toes. But I don't think what have I got in here right now? Like 10? Concurrent. Oh, 24. Wow, that's really more than I expected today with Sideshow having their thing going. Did anybody score anything through Spooktacular? I'm really curious about that. Because I almost did. I mean, some of those deals were better than I can get. That was some really cool stuff going on there. I nearly jumped on, I know they really, really just took a deep dive, so to speak, on the Coruscant Guard Clone Trooper. And I was like, I've already got 4. Don't tell my wife. I don't have a wife. That's great. It was nice to have something lighthearted to watch on Thursday. It really was a great way to start the day. It really set the tone for me. It really set the tone for me. Oh, Linda, you read that in that Avengers run? Dude, it was... I tried to get through it when it first came out. I actually bought the floppy copies up to a certain point. And that was at a time when comic books were really starting to fade into the background for me. I was actually losing interest in a lot of stuff. Again, this is part of what having this live stream has done for me on a personal level. It's helped me to just engage more, not just with other collectors, other fans, etc. It's also helped to engage my own inner fan in a way that had kind of been pushed aside because fandom and toys and all the geek stuff had become work. And now this kind of just gives me a whole different avenue to take. It's just like there's a switchboard and I can switch over here to hang out with you guys, but then switch back when it's time to do work. So yeah, that's cool. August and September is the worst in Florida. Why is that? Because it's so hot? Muggy? Yeah, I can see that. Okay. I love it when, oh, yeah. Etsy, baby. Etsy all the way. You can get one too. Is everybody digging the tunes? Do I need to turn them up at all? Because I'm loving them this morning. I really need this. Big day today, by the way. I've got. Okay, I'm gonna own up to something here. Maybe I shouldn't, but no, I'm not gonna talk about that. But what I will talk about is that it's a big day because my good friend Eric Jansen, which is, if you ever saw this guy, you'd freak out because he looks just like, oh god, who's the actor that plays the brother on the Vacation movies? He's such a riot. He's such a riot, but he looks just like him. Oh, getting text from my sister. That's always fun. But he's coming over today because he's going to help me haul my couch to the curb. That's right. I'm getting a new couch tomorrow from IKEA. That's right. They're going to drop a big ass U-shaped sectional thing on my lawn, and I'm going to have to carry it all up here myself. And then somebody's coming in on Monday morning to put it together for me because I just can't be arsed with that. So that's going to be really cool to actually start using. Confession time. Since I moved into this house, I've been using a hand-me-down couch from Eric and his wife Ann, my other good friend Ann. And it's like shredded. It's like this. It was at one time a nice leather couch, but they have cats, and the cats tore it to ribbons. So it's like the top just has no leather on it anymore. It's just all like the internal parts of the leather. It's really, really gross. But no longer. I'm finally gonna have what I consider to be a living room to be proud of. Okay, cool. That's good to know. I've got John chiming in and Desmond chiming in to let me know that the slate at Sideshow's YouTube channel appears to be clean. Desmond, I love that your avatar is just a big orange blob of circle. Yeah, it's great. It kind of makes me want an orange Julius. Raise your hand if you remember Orange Julius. If you're old enough to remember Orange Julius, I'm not sure when that went away, but yeah. Oh, Toy Quest 101 is here. Hello, Miguel. Possibly Ileana. I don't know which one of you it is, if not both. I don't know. Laura Keeley says it right. Yeah, it really is shocking, some of the deals. And again, I'm not here to talk about work, but I can't just completely ignore the fact that Sideshow exists. And Spooktacular has been on point, on par with some of the older Spooktaculars that I remember. Like, I remember when the Batman Armory was still way overstocked at Sideshow, and they just offered it like 60% off. And I was poised to buy it, But I was like, oh, Lindsay's gonna hate me so much, and I didn't. I was like, I'm gonna sleep on it. When I woke up in the morning, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get it. And I walked in, and it was gone. Just overnight, it had gone from just having I don't know how many units in the warehouse to being completely gone, which is probably fine. At this point, I don't know where I would have put it. I've got a Batman in the house right now. Ooh, that's hot. That's hot. Is that 1/10? I love what those guys are doing with 1/10, bro. I mean, they are producing at 1/10 scale the detail in the portrait paint that you see, actually in many ways superior to what we frequently see in 6 scale, and that's tough to pull off. Between the sculpt and the paint, the marriage of those two, it's pretty much as perfect as you can get. I have considered selling all those premium formats behind me, the X-Men PS, to make way for the last 2 Sentinels that they have in stock at Sideshow, and just starting that collection. The only thing holding me back is that most of those X-Men pieces are already sold out, so it would become this hunt. Dark Wolf is here. Yes. Nice. Yes, and consistent and continuing to give me the feminine spelling of my name. Thank you for that. My shoulders are broad, my friend. I can totally take being mistaken for a girl. Happened once in Florida. In Tampa, St. Pete, I was driving along and I was mistaken for a girl in 1989. I was really pretty back then. Just got the Fashion M33 body in yesterday. I'm trying to figure out who to make it into. Oh, I can't talk about that. Sorry, dude. Yeah, another one of the things that's off limits for discussion here is custom and unlicensed figures. As an employee of Sideshow, I cannot be seen in any way to give support to that. It's they've got licensors to consider, and I think that that's a reasonable thing for them to ask of me as a representative for them. So I'll just have to politely ignore those things. Any other questions are totally welcome. Wow, so many questions and comments have popped up. You guys are really active today. I guess I'm not the only one drinking coffee. And eating donuts. Blueberry. Look at that. Look at that blueberry color right there. Like you can see the pinkiness, the blue coming through on that cake donut. The moistest cake donuts I've ever had in my life. Sandra Lee is a good friend of mine and the woman who cuts my hair. We used to party together back in the 90s. I'm not giving you any of those details. And she was the one that turned me on to this place. We were talking about donuts, and she was like, yeah, my favorite donut place is this place. And I was like, dude, that's right by my house. And she's not kidding. It's not like Duck Donuts where you get those sexy maple bacon donuts and whatnot, which I love, by the way. But they offer just the standard donut fare, but they do it exceptionally well here. Same. Even when I don't have long hair. I used to despise the idea of wearing my hair up in a man bun. And then I had to deal with summer heat in St. Louis. Again, for the first time in decades. Yeah, I'm never... I'm really glad I got over that thing with the man bun. Excuse me. Hey, Dobby. Okay. Had to refill. It's a cool mug, but it's a small mug. What do you get when you cross small with mug? Smug. Random. Luis! One of the most enthusiastic collectors that I know. Seriously. How does everyone feel about Vision Quest? This is the first time hearing of it. But I'm going to write it down because I'm curious about it. I'm guessing it doesn't have anything to do with the 1980s film by the same name, right? Keith Lee brings up something else that I wanted to talk about today. That Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. The trailer alone filled me with such joy that I can't even imagine myself hating it. I totally just spit when I said that. Spit take. Yeah, everything about it from like Kevin Bacon. I'm so glad that they're doing this. I'm so glad that they're just being irreverent and having fun with the universe and not taking it too seriously. And that's not throwing shade at the DC guys for what they did with the Snyderverse. And I know it's not a popular opinion to love the Zack Snyder movies, but I do. Some of the more dark storylines from DC, and a lot of the DC storylines wax pretty dark. I don't know what Zack Snyder did. I mean, you could say what you want about the whole Randian philosophy that gets thrown into it, whatever. I mean, I feel like Ayn Rand is something that you should get into in high school, and it engages your brain a little bit, and then as you mature, you get over it. But it's, regardless of that, I really deeply enjoy, especially the first two Snyderverse movies, and I'm really delighted that they're bringing back Henry Cavill as Superman. I'm so filled with joy. I feel like he is my favorite Superman. I'm just going to go on record as saying it. I treasured the Christopher Reeve movies when I was younger, but I have to admit that the campy Superman is not something that I really relished. I never really felt like it spoke to me. I think that his ideals in those movies were pure and desirable, and absorbing those and embracing those is important. But I really felt like, given the fact that Superman as a character has evolved over the decades and going on a century now, that it's important for him to evolve with the times, with its audience, and just having a more human and more fallible Superman that we got with Henry Cavill Superman really spoke to me. Because we were seeing somebody who just come to Earth and who's just embracing, just learning about his powers, and also trying to find his place in the world, just like the rest of us. So it's really, I don't know, I wasn't prepared to talk about this, and it's been a long time since I've talked about it, but it really spoke to me in that way. I felt more of a connection with Superman through Henry Cavill than I have through any other rendition of Superman. Yeah, that's something worth doing, and I'm kind of doing that right now. I'm trying to do a full court press on catching up on my comic book reading, and I've got years worth of material to catch up on, so I don't know if this is a wasted effort. It's not a wasted effort, but I don't know if it's a futile effort, because it's so much to catch up on. So I'm just going to have to really pick and choose. Avengers is very important to me. No characters are more important to me than Cap, Thor, and Daredevil and Iron Man. I think that pretty much sums it up. Doctor Doom as well. Oh, Spider-Man. Duh. How did I leave out Spidey? Man, what's in this coffee? Anyway. Oh, Burble. Hello, Burble. Smoke rises from the... My voice is not 100% on point today. Wow. Spoiler alert. No, I'm not going to talk about that. Yeah. Dude, it is totally movie night at my place. It's big enough. It's going to be able to sit like 8 people or something like that. So, I mean, depending on how intimate you want to be. But, and there's like a lounge, the chaise lounge section of it that actually lifts up so I can keep like blankets and pillows and such in there. So it's really a cool couch. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to movie night Ann and Eric. Eric is the one that's coming over to help me move the old couch out. But they come over. Well, it used to be every Thursday to watch a movie. We have a system where we list out the different genres of films and cycle through it every 3 weeks. I get to pick the movie, and then they get to pick the movie the off weeks and such like that. Such like that. I'm a professional host with a with a collectibles company, ladies and gentlemen. This is why I have a job. Seeing a lot of love for Guardians of the Galaxy. Dude, Strawberry Julius. Yeah, Jim. How's it going, man? How's it going? Jim, are you the admin over at Weta Collectors? Or a moderator? Jim Hine, everybody, is he is very active with the Weta Collectors Facebook page, everything. And I think that's how we met, right? If I'm not mistaken. Speaking of Lord of the Rings, yeah, we had that smoke rises from the Mountain of Doom. I might as well just use that as a natural segue. I pre-ordered a copy of Unfinished Tales, Tolkien's Unfinished Tales. Gorgeous slipcover edition with like maps and stuff. It's gonna be amazing. I can't wait to get it in. It's on its way now. It should be here, I think, on Tuesday. So it's shipped, it's Amazon and it's shipped like days ago, so it must be coming from overseas. I don't know. But what I did pick up, because Amazon recommended it to me, and how can Amazon be wrong, is this, and you've seen this if you're on my Facebook page, but is this amazing deluxe copy of Lord of the Rings. And it's there's actually a full-on like ASMR experience over on my Facebook page of me just opening it and just running my fingers over the pages and whatnot, and you can just hear that. There's something about the sound of my fingers on a paper page, on the page of a book, and the sound of flipping those pages. You know, just it's like smelling freshly fallen leaves. Yeah, if you will. But the typeface is gorgeous. I don't know how well it's going to come across if I bring it up into the camera. The paperweight is just lovely. The binding is it really gives me confidence, which I think is crucial. Not all of my copies of books give me confidence like that. When I ordered it, it said that it was a hardcover, and it's kind of like a cross between a hardcover and a softcover. It's just a really firm softcover. But I was talking about it with super producer Sam before the show yesterday, and he has the same edition, and he said it best. When I'm holding this book, it feels like I'm holding a Bible. Yes, if you've ever had a Bible that had the similar cover, then yeah, this is exactly how it feels. Huh. Yeah, gorgeous book. And I also dug out this. I feel like I'm gonna pick up the rest of these, but I found this copy of Children of Hurin, which is another Lord of the Rings tale that was published years after his death. Yeah, just gorgeous book that I've not yet read. Ooh, The Fall of Norgathrond. More on Lord of the Rings from me later, hopefully next week, but we'll just see how that goes. Anyway, so I'm really losing track of these comments. Oh, that's cool. Tommy K says that the Orange Julius still exists in Canada as part of Dairy Queen. I think I remember that being the case here in the States for a while too, at least in shopping malls. It seemed like those two were like walking hand in hand for a little while there. Donut break. Everybody's excited about Orange Julius. That's how far behind in the comments I am right now. Again, you guys are really active. Dob Bear is here. I'm always glad to see Dob Bear show up. It's like life doesn't begin until you got a Scotsman in your stream. John Galgano has 3 Iron Studios pieces. Do not tempt me down the rabbit hole. Just kidding. Tempt me all you like. Oh, the comments did another big jump, everybody. Let me scroll back. Yes, Daber, I'm having more donuts. Steve Nara is here as well. Hey, Steve. Well, welcome aboard. The Saturday morning Toy Tunes. Yeah, the name of the show is not official yet. I mean, I guess it kind of is. I just haven't really marketed it or branded it or anything like that, but I will eventually. It was kind of inspired by Paul Sun-Hyun Lee, who you all know from the Funboxing Sundays. You might have seen him on a TV show that's an obscure TV show that keeps popping up on, you know, some obscure streaming network that most people don't know of. Oh. That's an interesting way to put it. 1/10 is the only problem is they're small enough to be super dangerous. Do you mean in terms of fragility? Because I can see that, and I hadn't considered it. Yeah, when something gets that small, you bump it the wrong way, it falls over, and you break off a sword, or you break fingers, or, you know, whatever. But that's true. That's very true. I remember that being a concern with 6-scale statues back in the day. Are you talking about the, Are you talking about the Lando and Skiffguard disguise? I've got that here. It's really good. It's really good. In fact, I think it's one of the better figures that Sideshow's done in recent years. Okay, good. I think I'm finally catching up with the comments here. You guys are so active, and I apologize for anybody who gets left out. If I don't catch your comment, it's just because trying to eliminate dead air while at the same time keeping up with comments is very, very challenging during a live stream, especially when you're by yourself. What do I think of the Nightmare Batman and Superman 6 scale? Might be getting those for the soul collecting video we sent in. Oh, dude, I think that's a great set. I don't think it's an essential set for people. No, only like those who are like me, who are like huge fans of the Snyderverse and whatnot. But obviously the figures are on point. So if you're talking about the quality of figures, yeah, I think that they're great. I think that again, it's a figure that's only going to. They are figures that are only going to appeal to a special audience of people like myself who are collectors, who have the means, and who really, really appreciate the Snyder Universe. Which, if you listen to the rabble, that's right. I just called haters the rabble. There seem to be very few people who do, but at the same time, those movies are making millions, so somebody's liking them. That's too bad. Keep watching, though. I don't think it's done yet. Oh, Steve, dude, what are you doing, bro? Come on, man. Maple bacon donut. Maple bacon donut. Trust me. Trust me on this. They'll serve it to you hot, and it's amazing. Ooh. Mouth-wateringly good. Melts in your mouth, pretty much. It just dissolves as soon as it hits your tongue. Oh, we have a question here from Da Bear. Da Bear is asking, been wanting to ask you something since last week. With all the How to Be a Poser videos you've done, are there any of them that you would have done differently knowing what you know now? I don't know, man. I'd have to go back and look at them all, and I was trying to calculate just how many we've done, because we've been doing How to Be a Poser since 2015. As far as I know, it was the first and only posing show on YouTube for a while there. So that was pretty awesome to be at the forefront of that trend. But again, there have been so many. I don't know. If you pressed me, I could probably find a recent episode that I would have done differently. Oh yeah. Oh no, that wasn't okay. Never mind. That wasn't How to Be a Poser. That was a first look. But yeah, I'm sure. Like, I stopped short of calling myself an artist. I feel like the artists are the ones who develop the figures and send them to me, and then I get to have the final say in the creative process. So I'm more like part of an artistic team when I pose these figures and photograph them or whatever. I think the artistry comes out in the photography, maybe. Depends on how good of a job that I do. I'm trying to, when I finally create that which is in my head, once I get the final product out there, just how closely it resembles what I had in my mind. That's what I really, really look at. I think How to Be a Poser is very dear to me, and yeah, but God, it's a tough question. It's a tough question. Nothing stands out. I think that's probably the best way to put it. Nothing jumps out at me like, oh, I totally remember that. But there's nothing that I can think of where I was like, oh God, I really, really suck with all the poses that I did in that show. I wish I could go back and have a revisit. For the most part, I'm pretty satisfied. Why? Is there something you were thinking of? Oh, this is the most polite way anybody has ever taken exception to the DC Snyderverse films. Thank you, Desmond. This is how you do it. This is how you push back on people who are talking up the Snyderverse films, because everybody who says, well, that film sucked or those films suck, that is a really subjective phrase that you're using right here. But what Desmond has done is he's shouldering some responsibility for his dislike or his lack of a connection with those films. I think that's a better way to put it. The stuff he thinks is cool about DC heroes isn't what draws me to those characters, so they're not my favorite. Exactly. I think that's a very generous way to put it. That's a very generous outlook, and I applaud you for that. Wish we lived closer. I'd hang out with you. No. Yeah, I mean, yes. I do think they wanted them to be campy. I mean, you can't be, what's his name, who played Lewis? No, Lewis is in Lewis is in Ghostbusters. Yeah, just that whole scene with what's his name, Lex Luthor's henchman, making his way through the subway and everything was just goofy and offbeat and campy. Even the portrayal of Lex Luthor was just not menacing at all. Not terribly menacing at any rate. It was okay, but yeah, it definitely had that campy comic book feel about it in my mind, even back then. Which again, as I said, didn't really connect with me even then. Even Batman didn't connect with me back then. It took The Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller to make me fully appreciate Batman and say, that's it, that's the Batman I've been after. And it wasn't until I read the first issue of The Dark Knight Returns that I started collecting Batman comic books. I do not know. I would welcome it. I would totally welcome it. That would be really, really awesome. My answer to that question, Dark Wolf, is a resounding yes. Wyatt Russell was amazing in that role. One of the things that I always lamented about when we got Kurt Russell as Ego in Guardians of the Galaxy was, yeah, oh god, it's so great to have Kurt Russell in the Marvel Universe. But it would have been better to have young Kurt Russell. Enter Wyatt, and you've got pretty much the same thing. I don't know if he always sounds so much like his dad, or if he intentionally channeled his dad, or was doing like a Kurt Russell impression. But either way, spot on. And I think that if we do see that, it's probably not gonna be until after Thunderbolts. Yeah, if we see that, it'll be definitely a Thunderbolts figure, and a lot of it might depend on the success of the film. No apologies necessary either, Dark Wolf. That's totally fine. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Because for those of you who don't know, it turns out that... shit, what's his name? James Gunn is now the co-CEO and president of DC Studios. Good call. Good call. And the other guy, I can't remember his name, was the guy who produced films like The Suicide Squad. Some of the best installments in DC's film stuff have been under his watch, on his watch. Good God, Jim, I'm just now getting to you answering that question. I am so far behind in the comments, and I've got so much to do here. What time is it? 9:48. Wow, the day is... Wow, okay. Desmond agrees that the Richard Donner films are unintentionally campy, or disagrees that he thinks they're unintentionally campy. Ah. Yeah, it's maybe. I guess you could only really know by having been part of the crew behind the scenes. I don't know what sort of documentaries there were about the films, but remember, this is 1977, and this is a pretty dark time in cinema. This is when you had what do they call those guys from Francis Ford Coppola and all those guys that went to school with George Lucas, kind of at the same time did their thing. You had Marty Scorsese, so there was some pretty dark stuff going on in cinema at the time. So. I don't know, saying that it's the natural camp of the period, there was a natural camp to some of the stuff, but I don't know that's... I don't know. I think it says it all when I just say I don't know. Good God, and we're just now getting to comments about Lord of the Rings. Maybe I should just skip to the bottom. I'm gonna need a moderator. I'm gonna have to hire an intern. There you go. Talking about just coming back. I keep bringing up Desmond Hassing's comments. I swear to God, it's like I'm not promoting Desmond. But yeah, we're talking about this book. Those of you who are just joining us, it's for Neil Gaiman. This is the Bible. This book feels like a Bible to me. It's just such. It is now my favorite edition of Lord of the Rings that I own. May not be the prettiest. There are a couple leather-bound ones that I have that are pretty awesome. But I don't know. It's really good. It's really good. Oh, oh, I just saw something and everything did it done. It's like YouTube is saying, dude, you're way too slow. You're way too slow here, man. You got to speed up. Thank you, Luis. Thank you. Like I said, your enthusiasm and your appreciation is not unnoticed, man. I really, really dig having you in the circle here. It's really cool. And the voice. Thanks. Thank you. Yeah, I'm hoping to use that voice for other things sometimes. Otis, by the way, is the name of the character that I was trying to think of. Thank you, Steve. Jeez. When I get on these live streams, my brain just melts when I'm trying to remember actors' names, directors' names, characters' names. It's very frustrating, and I know people are just like, this guy's not a nerd. He needs to turn in his nerd ID card. Nerd card. Like there's like my photo on it. Nerd. Photo of me. Signature at the bottom. Barcode. It's all there. Oh, get out! Wow. That's amazing because I just gave away my original 6-scale Sauron from Sideshow Weta days. I gave it to a friend because it was broken, and I don't have the skills to fix it, but he does, so I just gave it to him. I wonder where he's at with that, because that was easily a year ago. Bingo. Bingo. That's it. The fact of the matter is that unless you have some sort of skin in the game with music, unless you've made music your study, you can't say that something sucks. You cannot make an unbiased argument against it that's just not based on your visceral reaction to it. You can't. You can't converse about something on the same level as somebody who's made it their life's work. I'm totally going to trust the judgment and the opinion of my plumber over my own when it comes to looking at what's going on under my sink. Yeah, for instance, or my doctor when it comes to my health. The same thing with filmmakers. I mean, I've learned so much by hanging out with people who are involved in filmmaking, that I think that helps me to have a little bit more of an informed opinion. Plus, I did study filmmaking a little bit while I was studying photography in school. So that gives me a little bit of... It's like somebody who takes 6 weeks of karate. I know just enough about filmmaking to be dangerous to myself. Thanks, Darth. To be fair, I do get paid for it, but I'd like to think that even if I wasn't getting paid for it, that I'd still be doing it. Hopefully, we never have to find out. That's cool, Mike. Mike Games is here, by the way. Hey, Mike. Mike's fun. Played baseball in my hometown, El Paso, for the minor league. Oh, that's fun. That's freaking cool. So playing for sports teams runs in the family, because Wyatt was he pro level hockey? I want to say he was a pro level hockey player for a short time. Yes, I have. In fact, I can actually say this now. I got to pose the Locutus prototype. Yeah, I did some of the photography for that, and yeah, it's interesting. I think when you have weight on the bottom half of something, it definitely helps keep the center of gravity lower, which definitely doesn't hurt the stability issues that you might run into. Schubert's brilliant. Nanjing Tam, the guy that's responsible for Exo 6, he's brilliant when it comes to this stuff. He's one of the smartest men that I know, and I trust him. He's really cranking these things out pretty quickly, which scares me because a lot of things can slip through the cracks. But he seems to really be on point with it, and the response to the figures seems to be very, very strong. So I am not collecting them because, as I've been very public about here stating, I don't have room for them. But if I had room, I totally would. Donuts. Another time jump. It looks like I'm getting pretty close. It really is, isn't it? Yeah. It's fun. It's fun. Whatever. That is funny. Joss Wheaton. The unholy love child of Joss Whedon and Will Wheaton. That's what we need. That is exactly what we need. Benjamin Green likes my analogy. Thank you, Benjamin. Yeah, I agree. I think if I was going to get one figure from the line, well, it would be Worf. Ooh. Yeah. My only wish from How to Be a Poser episodes is I wish we could go over a few different poses, but I know that would mean a longer format. Yeah. I think there's a way that you can tweak that format. Because we've seen guys like Posing with Peter who will just do like multiple poses, and what you do is you just edit it more tightly and do voiceover work instead of because everything's live when I do it. So it's happening in my narration is happening in real time when I'm posing the figures, and we edit out the chunkier bits just to make it more streamlined and just to get it within that 7 to 10 minute window. But what Peter does is he'll just do cuts of him just doing a pose really quick while narrating it after the fact. He'll do his narration in post, and then he'll cut to the next thing and explain what's going through his mind while he does that and that and that. And that format would actually play to my strengths. Part of what I think people appreciate about my white boxing videos for Sideshow is that I actually script them, because there are issues with the audio in that room that it was just making it sound horrible. So I legitimately script it, shoot the video while reading from the script and doing the motions, and then I go into a sound studio that I've built into a closet and reread that entire script and then just match it up in post in Premiere when I'm editing. So it's kind of the same concept of what Posing with Peter does, and it could be implemented that way into a How to Be a Poser video in such a way that you could get like full-on descriptions and discussions about what went into each one of those 3 poses that we do for How to Be a Poser. One of the most recent critical remarks on a How to Be a Poser video was 10-minute, 12-minute video should be more than 3 poses. It should be like 10 poses. I'm like, well, you're saying that because you've watched Posing with Peter and he does it, but that's a completely different thing. There's room for both. Exactly. There's room for the way we do it, and then there's room for the way that Peter does it. I mean, there are different things that are going to appeal to different people, and each can appeal to the same person as well. So it's, to sum it up, and Peter and I have talked about this a lot in comments, it's not a contest. I want to say back in the day it was just like, yeah, Terry's better than Peter, Peter's better than Terry. Knock that off. That's just not necessary. It's not freaking sports. Okay? This is art at its best, and it's fun at its base level. So just experience it for that. Don't try to turn it into a competition. Don't try to create friction where none needs to exist. Huh? No. No, did he do that? I had no idea. The last thing that I knew of Chris Colvin was that he'd done the Battle Droid. But if he did Lola, that's cool. That's really, really cool. I've got to reach out to him. Chris, are you here? Are you lurking? Let us know. Send me photos, damn it. I want to see this thing. Oh, God. That's a solid question. The theory behind it is the same. You kind of want to achieve the same aesthetic effect. But quarter scale figures they make me nervous. They do. I don't know if it's the enormity of them or what, but and the way that when the joints click in the ratcheted joints, it's just like thunk, 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 and it just feels to me like, oh God, I'm breaking it. But they're sturdy, they're durable, they hold up. So I don't know that I have a different approach other than to be more focused on it. Just I don't even want to say delicate. It's just I have to really just zero in on each individual aspect of the figure. I've been doing 6 scale for so long that there's legitimately an unused How to Be a Poser video of that we did with the Royal Guards, the Imperial Guards, in which I just did this, and the figure was in a pose. I had the figure in my hand and just did this with my hands, and it was in a pose. And it was just like, okay, I guess that's done. So I've been doing 6-scale figures for so long that I can just almost pose them intuitively. Or at least at my peak I could. I don't know if I feel like I've lost something that I'm only just now getting back. But yeah, with quarter scale, it's not that. Everything feels differently in your hands, and the way that my muscle memory works with my fingers, I have to adjust that. So that's why I get nervous when I pose quarter scale, because I'm like, this pose sucks so far. I've got to really work and concentrate more to make it happen. Okay, apparently Chris Colvin does have photos up of that Lola, so I'm going to be taking a look at that. Hey, Kumar's here. Thank you, Kumar. That's very nice to say. Thank you. I hope that show continues well into the future, because I do enjoy it. I treasure it. It's actually become, oddly enough, I think if you go back and watch the first episode of How to Be a Poser, you can see in my face and hear in my voice that I'm just like, here we go. I didn't know how it was going to be received, and I didn't feel like it was, even though I was the one that came up with the self-deprecating title, How to Be a Poser, I didn't know how the public was going to respond to that. And there were some jerks who made comments, but, you know, whatever. But yeah, it's good. I'm always glad to hear that it's well received by people. Yes, I agree completely. Yeah, there's room for both, man. You don't have to turn it into a contest. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Hey, John. Good to see you, dude. Yeah, I'm almost out. I really have to start brewing more coffee for these shows. We're an hour in. I try to keep it under 2 hours, and I do still have a thing here to unbox. By the way, who watched Unsealed yesterday? Because I was really surprised. I started the show wearing this mask. Oh, I got my glasses on, so it's not going to go on. But so those of you who don't know, who saw the show yesterday, because apparently I read the comments, and everybody was like saying things like, "Oh, Terry's doing the Eyes Wide Shut thing." I'm like, Eyes Wide Shut? You bunch of Philistines! Come on! It's the mask of a nameless ghoul from Ghost, from the Meliora era. You know, it's yeah. So if you don't follow Ghost at all, if you're not familiar with Ghost, which they don't have a huge following, it's grown exponentially since I found out about them. But yeah, they have their band members all wear the same mask, and the mask changes with every album. And this was the mask that they wore after their album Meliora, which is a great record. It's when they first started going more poppy as opposed to metal. But the whole thing is anonymity. Like, every band member is basically looking the same. They wear the same outfits, they wear the same masks, and then the lead singer is the only one who differentiates himself. So yeah, just check them out. If you haven't listened to Ghost, check them out, because their stuff is really good. Their most recent album is called Impera, and every song is on point. There's actually a song on there that they did for the soundtrack for Halloween Kills, which is great, because the whole concept behind the lyrics is there's a duality to it that's just beautiful. You can interpret it from the perspective of Michael Myers. It's almost like Michael Myers is singing this song. It's been a long time coming. I'm coming back for you, my friend. And it's just like he's singing to... there we go. Everything's going on in my brain right now, and I don't have room for names right now. Jamie Lee Curtis. He's singing to Jamie Lee Curtis's character, Laurie Strode. And all of those lyrics just you can just interpret it from that perspective. But then you go back and you listen to it again, and you realize, well, they're also singing from the perspective of the singer, the writer, the fan. Like, it's been a long time coming. I'm coming back to you, my friend. Yeah. To where we'd hide as children. I'm coming back for you, my friend. It's all about, okay, it's been a long time since we had a Halloween movie, and now Laurie Strode is back as a character. Michael Myers is back as a character. I'm gonna go to the theater. I'm gonna experience this film. It's so fucking wonderful, the way that they were able to pull that off. I just love it so much. I've totally forgotten what that meant, what that's in reference to, Steve. Yeah, you've not been here, but but because of the latency that's going on here and whatnot, sometimes the comment, I get to it long before or long after it's relevant in the conversation anymore, and then I'm like, oh, I try to think back to what it refers to, and I can't remember which comments we're talking about, or we've talked about a lot of comments, but Keith Lee, smash the like button. Yes, thank you. I keep forgetting about that. I'm not one for self-promotion, so I keep forgetting about that. Let's drive some engagement, everybody. If you have the ability to like this thing, because apparently there's some trolls who didn't like what I said about She-Hulk 2 weeks ago, and they're ganging up on my whatever that ratio, that like to dislike ratio. I mentioned it at the beginning of the hour. There's a I did a rant about She-Hulk and toxic fanboys and whatnot a couple of weeks ago, and up to that point, I think pretty much all of my live streams had received a 100% like rating from across the board, and it took a nosedive into like the 90% range almost after that episode. So yeah, I ruffled some feathers, most likely. Oh, Michael Black is back. Back in black. Black in back. Black is back. Yeah, take your pick. That needs to be on a t-shirt. Yeah, I'm doing well, dude. You're a KU fan, huh? Is that KU? I feel like that's KU. My sister's a KU fan. I don't follow college sports, so. Ah, I'm glad you liked it, man. I thought it was too. In fact, we talked quite a bit after the episode, and I shared with everybody. I'm like, this is one of the better episodes we've done. The guy was really awesome. Dude, did you really? Did you go to Duck Donuts? Because that's easy to do at Duck Donuts. Yeah. I think what I've got here is like $5 worth. God. Yeah, Brandy shared with me earlier this week that she went to Tim's because of my donuts. Good God, y'all. I am caught up on comments. That's fantastic. You know what that means? I get to talk about something else. More bad news this week. Man, it's a really negative episode, isn't it? Oh, I love this song. It's called Galactic Battles by Maggie Grace, I think. Maggie Grace? But it's very Halo-esque. Turn it up a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't blow me out. Love these tunes, man. Love them. Anyway, yeah, more bad news. Oh, that's cool. Michael Black goes to KU. Awesome. I love reading the conversations between Keith Lee and Brandy Woods. They're a lot of fun. Ooh. Donut Palace. Yeah, I guess it would be easy for you, Keith. You've got kids. And so it would be easy for you to spend $40 no matter where you go. I'll just take a little bit of that, little bit of that, little bit of that before you know you've dropped $50 on donuts. Right? Could this be more Halo? Man. This is my jam. I'm sorry. I'm moving. I'm tapping. The screen has got to be shaking because I'm tapping my foot. And yeah. Good stuff. I love this. If I wish we were doing some sort of a Halo figure so that I could do that, so that I could actually incorporate this music into it. But I'll probably find some other use for it. Who knows? Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, bad news. On the Hasbro front, I'm very, very, very sad that it looks like Hasbro, the HasLab Hellcharger, is not going to be funded. Unless a miracle occurs. It's short by like 4,000 people at this with 2 days left to go on it. So it looks like I'm not going to have, excuse me, coffee donut burp. Doesn't taste as good the second time around. Or the third. So gross. I know, I'm sorry. But yeah, the Hellcharger is not going to make it. It's not going to make it, which sucks because... And that's just for the first tier. Subsequent tiers would have yielded a Mephisto figure. It would have yielded a Goblin Queen figure. I can't remember what else. There was... Oh, if it would have hit the 9,000 that it needed by a certain date, then we would have had a unflamed on Robbie Reyes portrait, or figure, just a full figure of Robbie Reyes. I feel like there was one more figure that would have been really cool, but I can't remember what it was. man, I'm just really sad about it. I mean, if you haven't looked at this thing, it's really freaking amazing. I wish that I brought up some photos of it so that I could like put them on here for you, but I did not. So I'm really, really sad about that. That's like 2 times now that something hasn't met the goals to actually go into production. The first time was the Riva lightsaber, the Inquisitor lightsaber, which just would have been amazing. It would have been amazing. But everybody had to hate on Riva. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I guess I shouldn't be too surprised about the Hell Charger, because that character came along, I want to say, in the Marvel Now era, and he's a younger version of Ghost Rider. He's still in high school. He's got this sweet, like, Dodge Charger that converts into like the Ghost Rider motorcycle. I remember distinctly that a friend of mine at Sideshow, when he first came out, referred to him as Ghost Driver, sardonically as Ghost Driver, and I'm like, why you gotta hate? Because it's a cool idea. It's a cool idea. Hell, in this run of Avengers that I'm reading right now, there's I want to say it's issue 7 is an issue titled Hell and Bone, and one of the things that this series of the Avengers leads off with is that a battle that happened 1 million years ago between a giant Sentinel from, the Sentinels, and not Sentinels. What are they? The hosts. Are they Sentinels? Come on, Marvel fans, help me out here. Anyway, Celestials. That's it. Celestials. God, my brain does still work. God, that's such good news. Okay. But there's a battle 1 million years ago that happened between the Celestial and Odin, the Phoenix, the Starbrand in the form of a caveman, not even Neanderthal, like earlier, like version of like a Neanderthal. Trying to remember who else was there. Oh, Agamotto, the original Sorcerer Supreme. Agamotto was there. I feel like I'm missing one other. Oh, there was an Iron Fist, one of the early Iron Fists, as well as, I'm forgetting one. Oh, Ghost Rider. The Ghost Rider of that time was riding a mammoth or a mastodon. I think it was a mastodon. It's so cool to see like a Ghost Rider type just all flaming, mounted atop a flaming mastodon. It's just so badass. But that story and everything taking place, dancing in and out with the story that was happening in Avengers is all well and good, but just having this great standalone issue where we get to see the origin of the ancient Ghost Rider is on point. I mean, it's illustrated by Sarah Bocelli, she's definitely one of my top 10 artists out there. Yeah, just definitely worth looking into. So if you have the opportunity, or if you have that whatever app that is that you can like read them on your iPad or whatever, check out Avengers #7 by Jason Aaron and Sarah Bocelli, because it's beautiful. Steve Nara is right there with me. It's amazing. So amazing. So amazing. Brody Boy is here. Hey, Brody Boy. We have not talked about that yet, but I am willing to. And I completely agree. I think it's an animated masterpiece. That's totally an unbiased bias. Okay, I'm totally biased on that. But I feel like it's just an amazing thing that they've done here. So for anybody out there who watched and appreciated Star Wars The Clone Wars especially, yeah, because it doesn't even touch on Rebels or Bad Batch or any of the other series. It's all Star Wars Clone Wars. But if you're appreciative of Star Wars Clone Wars, and if you love that the stories told in there, then watch this, because it does an amazing job of filling in the gaps. Not only of that, but of the prequel trilogy. There are stories that take place in the middle of the prequel trilogy. Count Dooku shows up back in his pre-Sith days, or it tells that origin story of Count Dooku, of Darth, not Darth Sidious, Darth Tyrannus. It's great. And it's easily digestible, because each episode is like 15-20 minutes in length. Whole lot of Ahsoka Tano. Yeah, whole lot of Mace Windu. Yeah, get in there, man. Watch it. And I did it all in one sitting. I think it took me like an hour and a half, maybe. Not sure. Comments keep dancing on by. Terry keeps falling behind. Oh, that! Dude, that's not even remotely offensive. I was just more like, why don't more people know who Ghost is? I was puzzled. I thought more people would recognize what that mask was. I'm not surprised that there were people who didn't, like yourself, who didn't. But yeah, it was just baffling to me that not a single person was just like, oh my god, it's a Ghost mask. Oh well, whatever. John, your Halloween video is going to be taking inspiration from the last How to Be a Poser stream? That's interesting. That's interesting. I don't remember what the last one was. They're all blending together. Oh, God. Coconut rum donuts, huh? Is it the music? I feel like it's the music. I do. Yeah. It gets me going, man. I mean, you know, Saturdays are like any other day for me. I mainly just work here and don't go out much, and yeah, just keep to myself. But it's a good chance for me to engage. And most of my friends here they're not into pop culture stuff. I think Scott is the sole exception to that rule. Thank you, Benjamin. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know what that means. Did it really? Not surprised. Not surprised. I kind of feel like when I was growing up, the fandom was sort of an outlier. You know, fans of pop culture, comic books, and Star Wars, what have you, Star Trek, were the outliers. And that the more hateful elements, if you will, weren't really a part of it. It wasn't enough of the pop zeitgeist that it bore their attention. It wasn't cool to be a fan of comic books and Star Wars and whatnot. But as prequels happened and animated series happened and video games happened and whatnot, that's when more people started getting drawn in. So the people who'd be like throwing shade, and I call it it's like the armchair quarterback philosophy of being a fan of something. You get these people who can't perform. They can't play football professionally at that professional level. And I feel like it has an effect on their egos a little bit. It's a little bit of insecurity involved. And but their experience with football is such that they're very, very, very passionate about it. But by sitting back, watching the game on their TV, and screaming at the call the ref makes, or screaming at the play that the team does, about how stupid it is and whatnot, I feel like it makes them feel empowered in such a way that somehow they're, I keep saying visceral, but the visceral reaction to something is the only thing that matters, and that there's no room for any other explanation for a story choice or a character showing up. There's a lot of lazy thinking involved, and intolerance, and an ego. I can't think of a positive thing to say about that approach to fandom, not one. And all that it does is bring it down. And to try to equate it, I've seen people say, "Well, how come I get ostracized because I come into a comment to a discussion of people who are enthusiastic about Star Wars, and I tell them how much I hate it? How come I can't do that, but they can talk positive about Star Wars? Why is it okay to talk positive about Star Wars, but not okay to talk negative about Star Wars? Really? You can't figure that out on your own?" It just puzzles me. It puzzles me. Puzzles me. This is a great song too. It's got a very Clone Wars vibe. In fact, I think I used it for a Clone Wars video. Shit. Yeah. And that's the thing. And that's the thing right there. That really sums it up, Keith. Sorry, Desmond. Yeah. um, yeah, very much so. It's and that's why it angers me when people pile on, do like a pile on of something that's trying to elevate a genre, trying to elevate a I don't know, a collection, yeah. Everybody's trying to elevate things, and then all of a sudden you get these haters that pile onto it and just want to drive it back down. Why? What do you gain from that? Nobody gains from that. If you're successful, if you drive the Hell Charger, for instance, out of existence with your vitriolic bullshit, what do you gain from that? What do you get out of that? Where's your satisfaction coming from? Come on. A lot of people could have really gotten into that, and your whole thing is you just want to hate on it to such a level that you drive it from existence. I mean, I'm not saying that they had an effect on the outcome of the Hell Charger. There could be very valid reasons, and I was going to bring one up. One is that it's simply a new character that was built to appeal to younger audiences who don't yet have the disposable income required to purchase such a high-end collectible toy. I really think that was the problem, is they made the move too soon. Give it another 5 years when those teenage kids who started reading about Robbie Reyes actually have jobs and have disposable income that would allow them to buy such a toy, then it probably would have made it through production. You can see similar parallels with prequel era based toys, which just took a dive after the release of the films. But now, all those people who were kids back in those days, they have disposable income and they're willing to shell out the big dollars to buy collectibles from the prequel era. Same's gonna hold true for the sequel era. You look in about 15 to 20 years, those kids are gonna have jobs and they're gonna be looking for that nostalgic connection to exist in their homes, in their geek caves, in whatever. And that's, so I think rather than to say the toy sucked or it was too expensive or not too expensive, that's not the way they put it. They put overpriced, which shows a complete lack of knowledge of what goes into making a toy, by the way. So I won't even get into that. But sorry guys, I don't mean to bring the string down, but man, I just really get angry when stuff like that happens. Oh, dude. John, I have to apologize. When you said BS reveals, I thought you meant bullshit reveals. I was like, oh God, John's bringing the hate. Oh God, I got to get that comment off screen right away. No, Black Series. Okay. All right. That's a dramatic segue. Gojira's here, by the way. Hello, my kaiju friend. Welcome. But yeah, getting back to that. Yeah, let's move on from that. But yeah, I don't know, man. What do they get out of it? I don't understand. I would much rather be somebody who elevates than tears down. I guarantee I get more satisfaction at the end of the day, because hate breeds hate. It becomes a freaking cycle, and it's gonna. Yeah, I'm judging you. I'm judging you. Yeah. I can see that. Oh, Holly West, I totally noticed young Caleb. Yeah, totally noticed young Caleb. Yeah, also still so excited. Really still so eager. You just saw that childlike glee in his face, and contrasted nicely with his arc, with who the character he becomes at the beginning of Rebels. That character, Kanan Jarrus, Caleb Doom, really has one of the better arcs in Star Wars. Now that we've seen it fleshed out a little bit more by showing him as a young Padawan in both Bad Batch and now in Tales of the Jedi, although nothing more than a cameo. Ooh, shit. Okay. Recipe for a nice autumn cocktail. Wow. No, nothing's coming to mind. I haven't thought about booze in a while. I haven't had anything to drink in a long time. Mostly a weight conscious kind of a thing, more than anything else. But also, yeah, shit's expensive. Sorry guys, I'm trying to get caught up on this. Kindred Spirit. Yeah, I did in the 90s. I was still collecting and reading comic books on the down low, but I didn't like advertise it. I legitimately kept my comic book fandom in the closet. I don't think it came out of the closet until like post Star Wars prequel, post Lord of the Rings, and all of a sudden it was cool to be a geek. I'm just like, hey, one of you. Yeah. Yeah, and the last part of that comment, grateful for communities like this and Let Your Geek Side show where we can openly celebrate fandom. Yeah, and I really feel like it's important when, as soon as that ugliness starts to rear itself up in those communities, that it's important to just knock it down by any means necessary, because it doesn't. I mean, I can see, like okay, for instance, Desmond Hassing frequently brings up points that are contrary to my own, but he does it in a way that's, I don't think gentle is the right word, but he's clearly put some thought into it, and it's respectful, and it's not. Yeah, it's more of like intellectual discourse than violent debate, which some of this debate that occurs online is borderline violent, and some of it becomes violent. But yeah, I just feel it's just necessary to, if you're going to disagree on something, to be very diplomatic in the way that you do it. You're dealing with a person, this person whose views contrast with your own. That's not your enemy. It's not, unless they become your enemy. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, that's why I value you so much, man. That's why it's so good to have you here. You can disagree with me in a way that doesn't get my hackles up. It just makes me think. I'm like, oh, that's a different perspective. And that's what scientists do. I mean, you move forward with the knowledge that is the best knowledge that you have at the time. But when new information gets introduced, you have to be skeptical, not just about that new information, but about your own. And that takes, I don't know, you have to set aside your pride, your ego, and just recognize that, yeah, you're building something. You're building an understanding. You're not stating definitively, and you cannot state definitively anything about anything just based on your own experience. You have to let in information from others, and I know that there's going to be somebody out there who thinks that I'm actually contradicting what I just said earlier about knocking down the hate, but it's not about having a different opinion. It's about the way you deliver it. And just like going into these dark web chat rooms and rallying the troops to review bomb a film because you don't like the fact that She-Hulk is a powerful professional lawyer who, likes sex and likes men and yeah, and wants to have fun and good times, and i.e. she's human. That's no reason to review bomb anything. Always Sunnyvale. Nice. We were just talking about Buffy earlier, or I was. So welcome, Always Sunnyvale. Wait, is it Sunnyvale or Sunnydale? Sunnydale is Archie, right? Yeah. Actually, I was going to go with Maple Old Fashioned, Thomas, but yeah, I'm glad you brought it up. That's a pretty cool one. How about a smoked Maple Old Fashioned? That would be awesome, because you get like the fall leaves, the burning fall leaves impression. That would be really cool. Yes, exactly so. And that's the best part about is that 99 times out of 100, the haters wind up being proven wrong. 99 times out of 100. There are very few instances that I can think of in which a film or comic book or whatever is so vigorously hated by so many people that 10 years later, nobody cares. Nobody cares. It's like that quote from Terminator when Sarah Connor gets ice cream dumped into her apron and her friend leans in and says, "Look at it this way, in 100 years, who's going to care?" It's true. No one's going to care. You're shouting into the ether, my friends, with your hate. You're throwing your hate into the ether, and it's not going to do anything other than just cause people like me distress. Like, it's not like I even value your opinion on the matter. It's just that the negative energy that it throws into the conversation is just not productive. It doesn't contribute. Yeah, I mean, I can get it. Again, I've said it before. Yeah, it just didn't resonate with me, or I didn't like it. Okay, I can't argue with aesthetics. I can't. But don't lambast people for liking something. That's the problem. So many great comments going on here. Where are we at? I feel like everything's just flying by. That's not it. Oh yeah, okay, 35 viewers. That's not too shabby, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Hey everyone. That also needs to be on a t-shirt. Anybody got any cool t-shirt ideas? I'm gonna start selling t-shirts. Yes. Boom. Quote that. Quote that. So true. So much wisdom in that. Yeah, I think a lot of people found that quote to be kind of hokey. I didn't. It's true. You can see it in nationalism, stuff that led to World War II, came from that. And that's crucial. That's a crucial. It's crucial to have that understanding because so much of what George Lucas drew on for Star Wars was based on the World War II, and not just the guns, but the Empire in general, which I guess was more aesthetic than anything else. The Empire itself was based on the United States during 1969 or the 1960s. Keithley agrees. It's 12 p.m. somewhere, dude. It's true. That's cool. Oh, Gojira. I totally watched House of the Dragon. I'm totally digging on it. That bit with, I'm really intrigued by Damon's lullaby. I don't want to spoil anything for people who haven't seen the final episode, but I'm really intrigued what happened during Damon's lullaby there. I kind of want to learn the lyrics of that song and just sing it to my dogs. High Valyrian. That's a language I could learn. Been doing a little studying of the black speech lately. It's very hard on the voice. That happened twice that happened twice recently, right? I mean, we got whole seasons of build for both that and for the Lord of the Rings show. I think they were going to call it the Second Age at one point, so that's sticking in my mind. Oh yeah, yeah. I guess if you're squeamish, then that probably would. But I think it was very important to see that. I saw what they were doing with that, and I applauded it. Yeah, it's important. It's important to see that, not just the childbirth itself, but the circumstances around it. Oh, that's not what I meant to type. Oh, that could be fun. That could be fun. I would definitely have to enter into a contract with Brandy Woods for that. How you feel about that, Brandy Woods? Are you still here? Oh yeah. I don't know. I feel like that's such a part of the zeitgeist these days. Everybody knows what that means. Everybody gets that reference. I think you could count on one hand in millions the number of people who wouldn't get that reference in the States. Globally, it's probably in the hundreds of millions, but still, whatever. Yeah, David, I'm just horrified by what happened. Just like, and heartbroken. Like, oh my God. Yeah. Tears, man. Seriously, I was crushed by that ending. And there was a particular character's response to that event, the one character who was there to saw it happen, was such an eye-opener and so brilliant. I don't know if it was the filmmaker's decision to have that reaction or that response, or if it was the actor's, but damn did he own it. I don't know who that guy is that plays that character. He's got a future. He really does have a future, and I'm looking forward to seeing where he goes in the show. Ah, yeah, dude. That's a Severance. If y'all haven't watched it, is a great show. What time is it? I've got to unbox something. I promised an unboxing, and I haven't done it yet. So and let me know, man, if you guys, because I have noticed that a lot of people seem to jump ship as soon as I start to unbox something. And maybe I won't just, maybe today, you know, I think today I won't do a full-on unboxing of something. I'll just open it up, rip it open really quick, and say, hey, here's what I got. I think that a lot of people are jumping ship, so if you feel like unboxing is unnecessary for this show, let me know, because I'm ambivalent about it. I could go either way. I don't care. Ooh. Yeah. Some of you may or may not know, I am a big fan of, and I don't know if this is just me projecting, but I feel like my 6-scale figures really wish they had video games to play. So when Replicade first started putting out games, it piqued my interest. And I wasn't terribly sure how well they were going to perform, so I missed out on the first few, much to my great dismay, because Tempest is one of my favorite video games of all time, despite the fact that I suck at it horribly. I'm really, really bad at it. But that doesn't stop me from continually dumping quarters in it, attempting to get better. Gojira, thank you for not spoiling it, for walking with me there along the line of spoiler and non-spoiler. Because yeah, that's crucial. Do not fork this side. It's important. Do not fork your collectibles. It's like any of those figures that come in a fashion body. This is not a sex toy. It legitimately says that in the instructions. It's so funny. Oh god. This side up. I wonder if that's a reference to something. I don't know what that means. Do not fork this side. Why would you fork? Why would you fork? Like if you sent. Is this what it would look like when they sent a console? Did they wrap them in cardboard like this with things that said "Do not fork this side"? Oh, that's exactly what it is. It's a pitchfork thing. A pitchfork. It's a forklift thing. That is so cool. So what you're basically looking at here is probably a recreation of the boxes that the consoles came in when they were shipping them to arcades globally. That is fascinating to me that they did that. I was wondering why it said this side up when the opening point is clearly right here where the tape is. But isn't that fun? Laura Keelis, you were actually good at Tempest? Man. Yeah, I feel like that's one of those games where you can't rely on like a pattern or an algorithm, figuring out an algorithm or what have you. Oh, dude. Andre had the Street Fighter. Street Fighter was never my jam. Sound off if you're a Street Fighter fan. If you're a Street Fighter fan, for real, if you're listening, just like do a hand holding, just do an emoji of a hand waving. Okay, here we go. We're diving into this. And should I? Yeah, let me just move some stuff out of the way. Because I do have the overhead cam. Move my knife over, move my coffee over. Okay. Okay, let's just do... Just make sure there's no contraband on the page. Boom, there we go. Okay, so here we are. Wow, that's just not going to work. Yeah. Okay, here's the thing. Here's what I'm going to do. Since I don't have the right camera set up for doing a live stream this week, I'm not for doing an unboxing this week. I'm just going to go and rip this open and show it to you really fast, and then we'll go back to discussion. And then I do have an idea for bringing in one of my other Nikons and using it as an overhead. I just have to figure out the logistics of it. I was close this morning, but it was getting too close. I was not going to be able to. Let me put it this way. I was either going to have to do the live stream or have donuts. Or sorry, not do the have an overhead Nikon or have donuts. And I opted for donuts because I feel like that's more important to the show than unboxings. I love the packaging of these things. Look at this. Let's clear that comment off there. Yeah, look at that. Let's see, is this the regular edition? It is. Yeah, this is the regular edition. Now, the field test edition, which they made very few of, the actual console back in the 80s, it just shipped to me. I think they only made a few hundred of those in real life, the full scale ones back in the 80s. And that just shipped to me as well. I just got a notice this morning that it's on its way. So I'll have that on Tuesday. So I'll be able to put them side by side. But I love 11.3 inches. Man. Let's see here. Let's see here. Do not damage the box. Do not damage the box. Haven't talked about the shirt, by the way. This is a shirt that I got from a charity organization that was donating funds to animals who were affected by the wildfires in California, and I think they continue to do so to this day. Name of the charity is Arm the Animals Clothing Company, and they got a pretty cool vibe. I kind of dig it. Yeah. Their symbol is a gorilla holding an AK-47. Yeah, big game hunting is a very real issue that I concern myself with, and that I follow relatively closely. ASMR. ASMR. Is there tape? Is there tape? We gotta make sure that this is Paul Sonnen Lee proof. Okay, here we go. This is so... Oh! One of the things that's cool about Replicade is that their stuff includes game tokens. You can see them up there in the corner. Yeah. I don't know if this is just an instruction manual. Yeah, operation, maintenance, and service manual. I wonder if they modeled it after the actual operations and service manual from the OG. Ooh, I'm gonna be able to plug it in. I actually have, for the first time in a long time during a live stream, an open USB port in the back. Throwing things over my shoulder is something I do in my videos. For those of you who aren't aware, I usually have the ability to edit it in post and thereby give myself different sounds. Car crashes, breaking glasses, etc. Makes it more fun. I love doing that. I love fun stuff. Sound off, by the way. Rip! Huh. I don't know if I can make that appear. Look at that. Look at how cool that looks. That looks like the console. You can see that the trackball actually moves. And I don't know if you guys are aware of this. I mean, if you're not, for those of you who know, then you know. But if you don't know, but these 6-scale consoles, video game consoles, are playable. Actually playable. I think they're working on a life-size trackball so that you could actually not have to mess with the little tiny one. And they do have HDMI outs also so that you can, Steve Nara, this is great. Rip watch. They do actually have a HDMI out, so you can plug it into your TV and play these video games while on your while watching your TV. It's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. And this is a first for me because I've never turned one of these on before, so I'm going to do it here on the live stream for the first time. Luis asks, where did I get that? I actually bought it straight from New Wave Toys, from their website, newwavetoys.com. But you can also get it at Sideshow because when what they have left over, they move it on to Sideshow, who distributes the rest of their units for them. So when obviously they try to sell as many as they can so they can make as much of the money off of it as they can before passing it on to Sideshow. But they have to be able to get as much money as they can as quickly as they can because they're trying to make other consoles. The next console they're working on, I believe, is Food Fight, which is not a game that I gravitated towards. It'll be interesting to see how well that sells. I'm not picking that one up myself. Again, limits. Gotta have limits. Yes, I said that with a perfectly straight face. Yeah, they always wind up coming around on Sideshow's website eventually. So Sideshow does have them up for pre-order. Since they are already at New Wave's warehouse, I'm assuming that they're just waiting for the final number from New Wave. Again, I don't have any insight. This isn't me talking about work. I'm just guessing. Let me go ahead and see if I can't find my missing... There's my port. It's very important. I'm not nearly as fun as I think I am. Oh, yeah, I want to say that there's been talk of that. I don't know if it's just fan gossip or what it is, but everybody's hyped to have that Star Wars arcade game. They did Dragon's Lair, and I have that around here somewhere. And I think they're planning on doing Space Ace as well. What else? Oh, yeah, there's talk that they're going to do Tron, which I'm totally on board with. So let's see this here. Charge. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, can't do things in reverse. All right, she's jacked in. Oh, look at that. Lights up. She's lighting up. Yep. That's where you put your tokens, ladies and gentlemen, when you had them. That's, again, this is the first time I'm plugging one of these in, so I'm really excited right now. That looks very, very much. Oh my God. I don't know how well it came across. I do know how well it came across on the preview here, but that reads very much like it did walking up to it in the... Oh man, this is fantastic. Is there a power switch? It would be really embarrassing for New Wave if I was doing this and the power didn't come on. Oh, there's a power switch up here. Okay. See up here? Yeah. You see a power button right there, as well as some sort of a toggle switch. What does that say? Oh, it's the volume. There's a volume control. Dear God. David Lynchen. God Dragon Slayer destroyed me destroyed my wallet, bro. Definitely. Damn. I don't think I made it 3 steps into the storyline ever. Ever. I think that there's talk of doing Paperboy, man. I think that's been discussed. That would be really, really cool. Oh, Afterburner was fun. They actually sent out a poll to fans at some point asking, hey, how do you feel about sit-down video games if we could do something like that? So if they could do an Afterburner with the full-on sit-down console, I'm not sure how that would play out. It would be really expensive. But yeah, Uberdog said it. Yeah, Food Fight is definitely next, as well as they have Coke machines. So you can add vending machines to your 6-scale arcade now. They also have neon floor mats. I have them in my basement. I wish I had one of them up here right now. They have those neon floor mats like you would see in Aladdin's castle and Camelot and all that. So that you have, if you had a black light, it would just really illuminate it just beautifully. Go online and look at this stuff, guys, because it's really worth checking out if you're a video game fan. Oh, yeah, Arcade 1-Up is another company that's been really popular. It's not my jam. I don't want to own scaled down versions of the arcades. I want the full-size cabinet. Nothing else would do. So, at least for me. Ooh. Yeah. I have Asteroids up here. And currently Optimus Prime is playing it, but my dream is to have Han Solo playing it with Chewbacca being like, you know? Oh, that would be amazing. Oh! Sick burn from 14 Wellington. Oh, man. I choked on that burn. Wow, I've never choked on a burn before. That was really good. Oh, I'm sorry that I missed Dob Bear leaving. That's cool. That's bullshit. Miss you, Dob. We'll see you on the next show. I'm just scrolling back through these comments in case I missed something earth-shattering. I bought them. I bought Uncharted 3. Yeah. We'll see. Once I get the new couch in and I start using my living room as a living room, legitimately there's no comfortable way to sit in my living room right now with the furniture that I have. So I'm relying on that incoming couch to actually allow me to have a functioning living room. Right now, I watch all my TV right where I'm sitting. I've got a pretty sweet Secret Lab chair over here, and I've got actually a foot hammock underneath my desk, so I can like kick back and prop my feet up and just watch shows. The sound system I have here is tight THX clips speakers. So yeah. Yep, yeah, Brandy Woods nailed it. Thank you, Brandy. All right, back to the... yeah, no shit, right? Oh God, I just watched something on the Graham Norton show to do with that. Like he was asking, he has a thing where he asks people if they have people in the audience. So, do you have a fear, a weird fear? And this one woman's response was, "Yeah, my fear is semen in places where it shouldn't be." And it turns out she's a forensic scientist. So yeah, she goes to crime scenes and everything and has the black light. And she's like, "Why is there semen there?" It's like, how did it get there? Oh, that would be so weird. Scott Heinemeyer's bragging that he gets to sit on my new couch before any of you do. That's almost true. Yeah, you might actually be one of the first to sit on it, if not the first. That could be true. Dude, I love it so much. I love my Secret Lab chair. I really, really do. They're very firm. They're very sturdy. The one thing is that mine, I bought the one with the faux leather material. Mine has started to fray at one of the seams. Now, admittedly, I sit in this chair more often than most people do, and I've had it since 2018 or 2019. So yeah, that might have something to do with it. Or maybe one time when I cleaned it with the wrong product, and maybe that rotted it a little bit. But I've never heard of anybody having this issue. In fact, I should contact Secret Lab. There might be some warranty stuff going on there. Yeah. You are most welcome, my friend. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get back to this unboxing, assuming I didn't... I do remember Sinistar. In fact, I've played Sinistar recently on my Xbox. You can download the Midway games on Xbox and play them. I don't think that that New Wave Toys has the license for Midway. And I'm sure that's a tough one to get, but so far to this date, as far as I know, they've not released a single game from Midway, which stinks because a lot of my favorites are on there. So I hope that they're able to land that and start producing them. I really have high hopes for the company. I hope that they don't go out of business, as a lot of upstarts do. So I'm just going to turn this on. Maybe. Let's see how it goes. How long does it take to boot up? Again, that would be really, really embarrassing for New Wave if I... Oh! There it is. Look at how cool that looks! Missile Command. I don't know if you guys remember, but there was actually an album called Pac-Man Fever that came out in the early 80s that had these really ridiculous pop songs based on the era's arcade games. And I feel like that's so awesome. Are you guys hearing this? Oh my god, this is so cool. Now let me get my first look at it, because you guys are looking at this and I'm not. Oh my god, it's so cool. And you can see the multiplayer lights are lit up there. Oh, wrong, one side. One player, two player. Yeah, that's really awesome. Oh, and the screen up top. That's right. Yeah, I'd forgotten about that. Originally, there was in the field test edition that's coming in on Tuesday. They're legitimate. This is just a display, a light-up display, the call thing, whatever. But the field test edition did have a monitor up high, so that people standing behind watching could just look up and actually see the game being played up top. Oh my god, this is so rad. Why have I never turned one of these on? Why have I never turned one of these on? Oh my god. So good. I'm going to turn the volume down on this thing now. Okay, volume was all the way down. I'm just going to leave that on over here. Ah, what do you guys think of that? Isn't that cool? Man. What am I listening to here? It is called... I'm going to move this over since I'm not... The Last Cosmonaut by Mark Torch. That's a cool name. It's like one of those names like when I was a kid and I didn't like my name. I was sitting down writing out names that I wish I had. Like, I remember when I first found out about Moon Knight, I was like, Mark Spector is the best name of all time. Jeez. What's this mean? Okay, I got to backtrack. Okay, you're going to IKEA today? I've lost my thing. That sounds like a personal problem. Going to IKEA today with a white gray wig to pretend I'm Terry Smith and demand to try out my new couch. Do it. Do it, bro. Maybe if I think of it, I'll send you a link later, and you can check it out. But it seems really, really comfortable. But it's not. I don't think it's going to the store. Maybe it does. Maybe they send it to the store first, and then it gets delivered. I'm not sure what the process is. Speaking of processes, I'm going to try this chocolate cake donut. Yeah. Place makes damn fine donuts. Miss you, John. Maybe see you next week, I hope. Gina. Craving that Ms. Pac-Man, are you? Yeah. I had a lot of fun. I love the sounds of the Ms. Pac-Man over the original Pac-Man. I mean, there's nothing quite like the classic of Waka 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 but the whole higher pitched, like jingling vibe that you got from the sounds of Ms. Pac-Man going around eating the power pellets was really, really, really looking awesome. Making sure I didn't miss anything. There he is. I hear you made a Lola. Yeah. I'm surprised that I missed the photos. I'm gonna have to. I don't go to Instagram that often. Maybe that's why I missed them. But yeah, man, I want to go check that out. God, guys, Christopher Colvin. If you have the opportunity to follow him on any of his channels, you should do so. God, this is Missile Command's right here. I'm just checking out. But if you have any chance to follow Chris Colvin's stuff, consummate droid builder, man. His R2 is totally on point. He just wrapped up building a life-size B1 battle droid, and apparently, he's done a Lola from Obi-Wan Kenobi. Princess Leia's droid from Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah, check it out. Does that mean I will have to assemble your couch? No. I'm paying somebody to come and do it for me. Because I can't be arsed. No, hell no. I would get too frustrated, and I have lots to do. They've really turned up the heat on me on some of these videos that I'm doing at Sideshow. So I have to start cranking them out. In fact, after this, after I take my old couch out to the curb, I have to immediately dive into doing some work for Sideshow. I'll be working for Sideshow all week, all weekend, and all the way through like Wednesday afternoon. So, and then I'm taking a few days off. So hopefully they didn't plan on having a bonus episode of Unsealed and Revealed. Probably not, though. My favorite video game of all time, any genre, any and any format, Halo. All things Halo. In fact, I think if I was forced to give you my favorite Halo, it would probably be Halo Infinite. Not so much for the multiplayer experience, which I've never participated in, but I understand is disappointing to a lot of people. But the free roaming qualities of it really brought it home to me. I always loved the original trilogy of Halo just for their immersiveness, the storytelling aspects, the unique at the time for the first Halo way that they seamlessly integrated the cutscenes with the video game footage. It immersed me in a video game that in a way that no one had been able to do before. So yeah, Halo for me is really, really where it's at. I really enjoyed Gears of War. That series was really on point. The Modern Warfare games I've liked a lot. But favorite console game? Tough call, dude. Tough call. And it would probably change in an hour. But I'm thinking Tron is up there. The original vector graphics Star Wars game is up there. As mentioned, Tempest has always been a fave. God, love that game so much. Oh, looks like my friend Scott Heinemeyer is saying goodbye to everybody. Yeah, I'll talk to you soon, bro. You know what I'm doing right here? While talking to you, my C6, C7 vertebrae, the disc just slipped out of alignment, and I just had to move it back to where it's supposed to be. Take care of your spine, everybody. This is a good track by ELFL. turn that up a little bit so you can enjoy it as much as I am. That is a flat out lie, man. That is the bicep of a 51-year-old man who doesn't work out. Yeah. My arms are looking old. Yeah, Luis. Oh, that was, you know, I played Arkham City was the one that I played all the way through. Arkham Knight came around and I picked that up, but I was so bad at driving the Batmobile that I just got frustrated and walked away. Recently I revisited it and I was able to pilot the Batmobile well enough that I could pull some stuff off, but I don't know, that was around the time that I was kind of walking away from being such a prolific video game player. Wow, it's already 11. Oh, Desmond is apparently taking a look at the UV reflective arcade cabinets from New Wave. Yes, they are very cool. I have 12. Because they were sold out for a long time. And when they came back in stock, I had a whole FOMO episode, and I was just like, yeah, give me 12 of those. And so I've got them all downstairs. I will have probably 12 Replicate games before. Actually, hang on. Okay, I'm just going to shut this down because I have another. This is the Warren Davis edition of Qbert. Warren Davis is the guy who created Qbert, and he built this cabinet, which there were very few in the world. It is my longest stream so far. I've broken 2 hours. Yeah. And I'm going to do this, and then I got to go because my friend Erica's coming over, and we have to... cool, everything's powering down. We have to take my couch out to the curb, and I still have to clean out my... Yeah, shit. Yeah, we can't do anything right now over there, man. It's bad. There's boxes everywhere and everything. Oh, there's a battery. So these things do have a built-in battery, as we've just found out. So let's jack in Qbert here. Yeah, and just look at that. You can see on the back there, there's USB and HDMI. Is that USB? That's a good way to put it, Uberdog. Palatable nostalgia. Very much loving it. The M90 Bluetooth speaker is a must-have. I do have that. Not up here, though. I guess I must have taken it downstairs. Might be in the studio. Okay, so let's turn this bad boy on. Rip off that plastic covering that's preventing us from really experiencing the thing in all of its glory. Yeah. So maybe you guys can enjoy the moment where it first turns out. There we go. There it is. The obligatory New Wave. Keith Lee is asking about the HDMI port. It is, in fact, for output, so you can plug it into your TV.
Hello, nice, very sad.
Oh my god. So happy. This is great. I hope the mic is picking that up. Oh my god. Palatable nostalgia indeed. Indeed. Let's turn that down again. I'm going to charge that for a minute. Wow. Yeah, these things look really cool side by side. This is the first time I've had two of them next to each other. And I guess I'll just go ahead and let you guys have that experience. Keith, yeah, I agree that you need that Coke vending machine. I don't know that I'm getting it, but I think it's pretty awesome. But just having these things, just imagine having like a row of these things. My goal at some point, and I very publicly declared this, was to have a line of these things. Just have like a virtual arcade of these things, just with Mandalorians playing video games. That was my goal, and somebody did that. Somebody did that. There's actually a few photos out there that the guy did that are really cool, and he has all of his Mandalorian figures playing video games. I'm sure he arrived to that completely independent of me. Not saying that he took my idea, even though he did. All right, guys, that's about it. I think I've discussed everything I promised that I would discuss, except for Andor. And I'm not going to do that now because Scotty Heinemeier, pretty much all my ideas came from Scotty Heinemeier, but he brought up something really interesting. Deputy Minister Karn, the guy who's been busted back to lower level administrative duties in the Empire recently on Andor. Scott brought up an interesting notion. What if his arc winds up ending with him being on the Death Star? Oh, what if that winds up being his assignment at the end of Andor? Wouldn't that be a riot? Yeah, I would laugh out loud at that. So I'll leave you with that thought. And yeah. Oh, dude, that Coke vending machine is going to be so cool. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Had a great time on the stream today. Hope you all did as well, despite the times it waxed a little bit angry. Seriously, I just don't get it. I don't get it. And just case in point, if that kind of negativity just makes me angry. That negativity feeds negativity. It's just how it goes. Find a gentler way to have a discussion. Anyway, but I'll leave you with that. Hope you all have a great week. And before that, I hope you all have a great weekend. Happy Halloween. And I will catch you next week. Take care, everyone.